Room will come to order. We're now holding the November 13th, 2023 meeting of the Cumberland County Fiscal Court, third floor of the Cumberland County Courthouse. In order to begin, I'll ask our magistrate from District 3 to lead us in a word of prayer.
Let's pray. Dear gracious Heavenly Father, we come to you, Lord, humble ourselves, Lord, before you, Father, as we try to carry out, Lord, the county's business, Lord, here tonight, Lord. We just ask, Lord, Father, to just lead us, guide us, Lord, always making decisions, Lord, that needs to be made in the right ones, Lord, I pray. And Father, we just ask a special prayer, Father, for the families, Lord, the ones that has lost loved ones, Lord. During this time, we just ask, Lord, that you'll just hover around them and comfort them in this time of need, Lord, that they're experiencing, Lord, and just give them the strength, Lord, that they need, Lord, to move on, dear Father. And we'll give you the glory and praise, Father, for that, Lord. And pray, Father, for one that's in the hospital beds, Lord, tonight, Lord, just ask that you'll just lay your healing hand upon them, strengthen their bodies, Lord, I ask, and be with the family members, Lord, I pray. Grant them travel mercies, Lord, back and forth from the homes to the hospitals, Lord. And we'll just give you all the praise and all the glory for that, Lord. And again, Lord, we just ask that you forgive us each of our sins, all of our shortcomings, our failures, Lord. I just ask, Lord, that you forgive us, Lord. And we ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Okay. Thank you, Larry. If you would join us for the pledge to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. This time we'll call the roll, and this will also serve as a mic check. Magistrate District 1.
Here.
Magistrate District 2. Here. Magistrate District 3.
Here.
Magistrate District 4.
Here.
County Attorney Coleman Hurt.
Here.
Thank you, gentlemen, very much. Next item of business under general order is approval of minutes from our recent meetings. We need to approve the October 9th regular meeting minutes first, then we'll go to the October 23rd special call. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the October 9th meeting minutes.
Motion.
So moved by the Magistrate of District 4. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by the Magistrate of District 3. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion passes. Next up for consideration, I'll entertain a motion to approve the October 23rd special called meeting minutes.
Motion.
So moved by the Magistrate of District 4. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by the Magistrate of District 2. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion passes. Moving into departmental reports, we'll begin with Road Supervisor, Mr. Ricky Melton. And if you would, Ricky, turn that speaker on to the back of it. You'll need to flip the switch just on the back of that speaker right here. Perfect. Thank you, sir.
Good evening, everyone.
Evening.
We've been doing pretty good on the rail and Caribbean. He had to stop over the weekend there. We had the funeral of Jack Gilbert that passed away, and we had a lot of traffic going in and out, so they stopped at the work. And but they got back to drilling. They had lost an engine, and helped call it when he was doing that work. So that slowed it up also. But we're having good weather now, so hopefully everything will pick up and keep rolling, get that knocked out. So we like the Warsaw and then Sexton Fort, two sites on Sexton Fort. So it's going pretty good. If you had a little problem down there on Sexton Fort with the ways we're going to have to drill it and the difference in the steam. So we'll have to kind of do a rework or figure price a little bit on the Sexton Fort project.
And what we'll do, if I may interrupt on that, Ricky, we will, when we get down to new business then, since that is a new item for today, that's not on the agenda, but after we cover everything on the agenda, we'll revisit that in new business then.
Okay.
Any questions for our road supervisor? Thank you very much, Ricky.
Thank you, Rick.
EM Director Greg Carey is unable to be with us today. ABC Officer Junior Smith.
Junior Smith, ABC. For the month of September, alcohol sales, $188,636.43. Year to date, we're at $1,314,000. $230.49. Regulatory fees, month of September, $9,225.54. Year to date, $62,551.39.
Any questions for our ABC officer? Thank you very much, Junior.
Thank you.
Jailer Thomas J. Brown.
Thomas J. Brown, Cumberland County Jailer. We had a total in October of 45 runs, 38 to Adair, 2 to Barron, 1 to Taylor County, 1 to Cornersville, Indiana, 2 to Hardin, 1 to Carroll County, for a total of 3,664 miles. As of the first day of the month, we had 30 in Adair County. As of today, we have 24. In the month of October, there was a total of 20 on home incarceration for 463 days, saving the county approximately $15,279 in jail bail.
We appreciate that very much. Any questions for our jailer?
At least it's getting a little better.
Yeah.
Better say that.
Better than last month.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Thomas J. Mayor Laurel Irby. A solid waste and grants coordinator, Mr. Jefferson Abney.
Just want to provide an update on our food distribution that took place on October 27th. This was in addition to our normal commodity distribution, which was on the 25th. We gave away $6,719 worth of apples, potatoes, cabbage, and onions. That was over 400 people that came through our line that day. So that was a lot of people that got a lot of food. And a big thank you to all of our volunteers and members of the road crew who came out to help. They were a big part in the success of the day. And our next commodity distribution, which will just be our normal USDA food, will be on November 29th from 8 a.m. until 10 a.m.
And if you all do know of anybody that is in need around the Thanksgiving holiday time for that food, because groceries, we all know, are getting more and more expensive, please encourage them to reach out, see if they qualify, and show up if they do. Any questions for Jefferson? Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Sheriff Keaton Williams. Any questions for the sheriff or the sheriff's assistant? Thank you all very much for being here. We appreciate that. County Clerk, Mr. Brian Morgan. PVA, Gina Shea Watson. Coroner, Gary White. Okay. At this time, we have a guest with us tonight. At this time, I'll announce a proclamation that we did earlier in the week. Gentlemen, our mics are popping. If you would, turn those off and then right back on. See if that resets us. Thank you very much. We signed a proclamation for Hospice of Lake Cumberland. In the discussion that I had with that team, it was obvious to me that what we think of as hospice and what hospice is, two totally different things. So at this time, I would like to ask our representative from Hospice of Lake Cumberland, please come forward and educate all of us on what hospice does.
Come up there, or we just stand here?
Up here, if you don't mind. Thank you.
First of all, I'd like to thank you, Judge King. There we go. Thank you for the invitation to speak. As many of you may know or may not know, November is National Hospice and Palliative Care Month. And Judge King asked us a lot of good questions when our team was here for the signing of the proclamation. And we determined that the best thing we needed to do was educate on exactly what hospice is. Hospice is not coming in the last day or two and providing medicine to make the patient go on. Hospice is much different than that. We have a team of a nurse, a social worker, a chaplain, and an aide that will go into the home and take care of the patient. The nurse will see the patient once a week. The chaplain may see the patient once a week or once every 2 weeks. The social worker is there as needed, and they see the patient about every 2 weeks. And the aide can come into the home and take care of the patient 5 days a week with giving a bath, helping with personal hygiene, and maybe even do a little light housekeeping for them. So that's basically what hospice does. Now, to qualify for hospice, you need a 6-month terminal illness. However, we have had patients in hospice care for over a year, some 2 years. Some get so better, we just graduate them out of hospice. We had one lady that graduated out of hospice and came back to us 10 years later. So in the brochure that I helped, I asked them to put this in. It says, the end of life deserves as much beauty, care, and respect as the beginning. And that's what we strive for. We want to make every moment count for the patient and their family. One thing that I do is audit reports for all 7 counties, and the nurses will send me an agenda for their day. My 2 favorites has been when they would revise that agenda. One said, take Mr. So-and-so off. He's gone fishing. I'll try to catch him tomorrow. And another one was, take Mrs. So-and-so off. I will try to see her by the end of the week. She and her daughter's gone to Lexington to eat at Panera Bread. So that is our goal. We want the best quality of life that we can possibly provide for that patient. We have support for the family. The social worker can help them with funeral arrangements, planning. We had one patient that was a veteran that was not receiving veteran benefits. And our social worker got very active with that and received his veteran benefits the last several months of his life. So we're there to help. We're there to help the patient and the family. Now on the other side, we have palliative care. In palliative care, we have a nurse practitioner that makes house calls, just like the doctors used to do. And they will come in every 4 to 6 weeks and check the patient, make sure their pain is managed, and they have everything that they need. So you can continue curative treatment in the palliative care program. And most of you know Jennifer Carver. She is our palliative care for Cumberland County. She is a nurse practitioner, and she will come into the home. Now, we do also see patients in the nursing home, and we see patients at the hospital. We come to you wherever you're at. We come and try to make things easier and better for you. So that's basically, I could go on, I could talk all night about the hospice and the stories and the blessings I've received seeing these patients do so well. So I have brochures. I will lay some up here if you would like to.
That would be great.
Pardon me?
That would be great.
Okay. If you would like to grab one, I haven't looked into this brochure, so I'm very proud of it.
And Portia, I have just one question, and then any questions from the court. If you take everybody that each member of the court knows in Cumberland County, it would be a rather large group of Cumberland County citizens. If any of those folks that they know could benefit from hospice, what's the process like for any of these gentlemen to refer somebody?
Okay, you can call my office or come to the office there on King Street. I'm not there in the afternoons. As most of you know, I've had a kidney transplant August the 29th, the reason for the mask. I have to wear it for 6 months. But they can contact me. If you have my personal phone number, you can call me. I had a friend call me at 10 o'clock one night, and they had gotten back with their mother from the doctor, and he had suggested hospice, and that she was all, excited and not knowing what to do. And she called my personal phone. I went to the office and I told her, I said, I'm going to the office and get a referral form, get this information together for me. And so I called her back. I got to the office. I faxed that in. The nurse was there the next day to do an evaluation. So contact me, contact the hospice office in Somerset. That's our main office. Anyone can refer someone to hospice, whether it's a friend, family member, doctor, anyone can refer. We will send a nurse out to evaluate the situation and take it from there. And as Eureka has said many times in her speaking engagements, we come to where you are. And we don't force anything on you or the family. We do as the patient wishes, and we do as the family wishes as best as we can. Because we want that patient to be with their family, go eat at Panera Bread, go fishing. We want that patient to enjoy every moment that they have on this earth.
Thank you so much for being here and for all the work that you all do. Any questions from the rest of the court?
Insurance pays for most of it. And what it doesn't, we have donations. We're getting ready to have a big fundraiser in Somerset in February to raise money. I'm trying, this is a secret, I'm trying to get a fundraiser for Cumberland and Clinton County, that people can come, maybe charge, for a plate and anything that covering our cost, anything over that goes to that. We had a patient that needed a oxygen tank to go out and eat with her family, and her insurance only paid for the big oxygen tanks. So our executive director got her a portable oxygen tank so she could go out and eat with her family.
So if you don't have insurance,
If you don't have insurance, we take care of you. Yes, there's
Good
no
question,
cost.
Ricky. Good question. Thank you very much, Portia.
Thank you.
And for those that were watching online or will be watching online, that question was, how much does it cost? And that was the answer that Portia gave. Moving into old business, tornado shelter reimbursement status. We have received reimbursement for the first stage of the payment there. We're on what I would consider stage 2 of 3 at this point. That should be done by the end of the year or very soon thereafter. Now, remember, that is the tornado shelter over in Maribone, not the site that was proposed at Salem Park. We're just working on the Maribone location. Any questions on that under old business? Moving into new business, cash transfers. Remember, this is the actual movement of cash money, the actual movement of cash money. Cash transfer from the general fund to the jail fund in the amount of $47,000. Cash transfer from the road fund to the grant fund in the amount of $111,142.50. And you'll see the note there, it was deposited into the wrong account. That's not by us, but when we get the reimbursement, it went into the wrong account. So that's why we have to move it. This time, I'll entertain a motion for the cash transfers.
So moved.
So moved by the magistrate of the 3rd District. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by the magistrate of the 1st. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion passes. Budget transfers, remember, this is moving it, but on paper only. You'll have that sheet in front of you, and then a second sheet with just a couple at the top. I'll entertain a motion to approve those.
Motion.
So moved by the magistrate of the 1st District. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by the magistrate of the 2nd District. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion passes. Letter C under new business, that's the warrants. That just fancy term for saying the bills. That's paying the bills. We need a motion, a second, and a prevailing vote to do that. What's the will of the court?
So moved.
So moved by the magistrate of the 3rd District. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by the magistrate of the 4th. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion passes. Addition to standing orders, letter D under new business. Our standing orders are the reoccurring expenses that we have to have a list of those that we submit, the expenses that each month, each quarter, each regularity cycle there, we have to add to it this time county court clerk's service fees. That's the only change. Motion second and a prevailing vote would be in order there.
So moved.
So moved by the magistrate of the 3rd District. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by the magistrate the first. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed, no. Motion passes. At this time, I'll ask a representative from the Sheriff's Department to come forward for court consideration of the sheriff's budget, budget amendment, and annual order setting maximum salaries.
Okay, we have several different things on the agenda to approve today.
Okay, and if you would, Sarah, use the mic for the benefit of those watching.
Okay, the first thing we have is the budget amendment for 2023. I didn't change the budget total, it's just the categories are coming in, so I just need approval for that.
And only the categories
Yes,
changed.
yes.
Questions for Sarah on the budget amendment? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to accept the amendment.
Motion.
So moved by the magistrate of District 1. Is there a second? Seconded by the magistrate of District 2. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion passes. Go ahead, Sarah.
The next thing is the 2024 budget. I went ahead and done this a little early this year. I did increase it $10,000 from last year, from 2023. The majority of that was because we added that third SRO. Salaries are more for those, as well as the income for alcohol expenses, alcohol.
And for the benefit of those here today who maybe haven't joined us before, or those watching, what is an SRO?
School resource officer. We have one at all three schools now, full-time. That reflected in the payroll accounts. The reason we had to increase it, that and, increased fees from the alcohol tax that we get per month. Last year it wasn't as much, this year it's been more.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Sarah, but it's a pretty big deal for a county of our size, and Sheriff, you chime in too, to have a school resource officer at each of the schools.
Oh, yeah, it's very important. I feel it needs to be in every school, but we're fortunate that the school works with us and we can have one in each school.
Very good, and we appreciate what you and the sheriff have done to make that possible. So this time I'll entertain a motion to accept the 2024 budget as submitted.
So moved.
So moved by the magistrate of the 3rd District. Is there a second? Seconded by the magistrate of the 2nd District. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, no. Motion passes. Back to you, Sarah, for the annual order.
Okay, the next thing is the amount for the maximum amount for salaries. Should be on the last page of that budget. I did not change that maximum amount from last year. It's still the same amount. I think it was 400,000.
It is, yes, ma'am.
It did not change. I just have to have that approved separate from the budget.
So no change, just need the annual approval. Okay. Is there a motion to that effect? So moved by the magistrate of the 1st District. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by the magistrate of the 3rd. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion passes. Court consideration of the Sheriff's Office advance. Will you explain to us what that is, Sarah, and tell us how we can be of help?
Each year, the Sheriff's Office requested an advancement from the state, just a loan from the state, tax-free or interest-free, in the amount of $60,000. That's the max we can get. We borrow it in January to help, because we have to start with zero balance January 1. Payroll's January 5th. We have no money. I'm not sure how we're going to make payroll the 1st of January. If I don't get this money, which is $20,000, we're not going to be able to make payroll 1st of January. There's 2 checks in January. That won't cover it, but that's what we're allowed. That's the maximum we can borrow from the state. We pay it back at the end of the year. We have to pay it back before we can get the next year's advancement. So this is I just have to have the fiscal approval that we can apply for this advancement.
Sounds good. Any questions for Sarah on that? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
So moved by the magistrate of District 2. Is there a second? Second by the magistrate of District 4. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion passes. Thank you very much, Sarah. Animal Control Officer position. Now, at this time, you all will recall we have, for several months now, put out for applicants to come in, submit an application for the Animal Control Officer position. The Sheriff's Department has been kind enough to help us in the interim, but we will need to fill that position probably at the December meeting. Tonight, what we need to do is go into a very brief executive session, and for those here with us, if you'll be patient and wait for us to come back out, it will not take us long. We're not hiring anybody in there behind closed doors. This is simply a discussion. I will be providing the court with the applications so that they can review those. Those have things like social security numbers, work history, things that don't need to be displayed publicly. We cannot take action in the executive session. We'll come back out and then present to you any type of action that needs to be taken. If you need to go, we understand, but we hope you'll stick around just for a few minutes while we're in there and then pop back out. We do, before we go in, need a motion and a second to go in there, and we'll ask our county attorney if he would to reference the appropriate KRS for going into executive session.
It's KRS Chapter 61, 810, and sub F is the appropriate exclusion.
Very good. Any questions, gentlemen, before we go in? This time, I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session. So moved by the magistrate of District 2 and seconded by the magistrate from District 1. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, no. Motion passes. Jefferson, if you would, a little mood music for everybody while they wait.
Chicken.
Gentlemen, if you would, turn your mics back on.
First one, scared to
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to come back from executive session.
So moved.
So moved by the Magistrate of District 2. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by the Magistrate of District 3. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed, no. Motion passes. Let the record show that no action was taken in executive session. As I explained to the public earlier, we cannot take action in executive session. Only discussion occurred there. We did, as I mentioned before we went in, discuss the applicants. We will be conducting interviews from starting as early as tomorrow if applicants have a free schedule up till a week before the next court meeting. And then at the next court meeting, we will be discussing who to hire for the position. Any questions before we move on? Letter H, consideration of administrative code changes. We've made several changes already. This is a small and a very reasonable change here. In the current administrative code, it is set up where all county road crew members have to have their CDL license, and if they don't have it, they have 90 days to get it, or they're automatically terminated. We don't do that. So if we're not enforcing it, we don't need to have it in there. So my proposal would be to remove the requirement for CDL for the road department within 90 days or else they're terminated. This would remove it completely. Is there a motion to that effect? Motion. So moved by the Magistrate of District 1. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by the Magistrate of District 2. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, no. Motion passes. This time, letter I under new business, judge executive nominations for court approval. After a conversation with our CAECO folks, that's the group that we've got our insurance with, our county insurance with, they have indicated to us that we would benefit not only based on our premiums, our annual premiums, but also in the event that we have an accident with a big payout, if we have a safety committee reduces our liability, and reduces our premium. That, to me, is a win on both accounts. We don't currently have a safety committee, so tonight I am proposing for a period of roughly 1 year. These would be terms ending January 1, 2025. So a year and a little bit of change, that way we can start these with a regular schedule of 1 year, January to the end of December. The following names are my nominees. Miss Stephanie Walker for a term ending January 1, 2025. J.V. Gross for a term ending January 1, 2025. Mr. Dennis Sales for a term ending January 1, 2025. Those are all just over a year, and this is for the Safety Committee. This committee does not meet monthly, quarterly, or with any type of regularity, only after an accident when we need to get to the root cause of the accident, figure out how to prevent it in the future. If there's no questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve those nominees for the Safety Committee.
So moved.
So moved by the Magistrate of District 3. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by the Magistrate of District 2, Magistrate District 1. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion passes. Letter J, consideration of deletions from the county road system. This, for those in the audience and those watching who don't know, if you wish to have a county road removed, you have to have a fully executed petition. All signatures of folks on that road or owning property on that road have to be on there, has to be advertised, then comes to us for a vote. Both of these roads have been advertised. They only require a vote tonight. First one is a portion of Seminary Church Road. This is just a portion of Seminary Church Road. Fully executed petition, and Mr. County Attorney has been properly advertised. Is that correct?
That's correct.
District 2 Magistrate, this is in your district. Do you have any comments to share?
I see no reason not to close it. It doesn't affect anybody but the ones that want it closed, so I move that we close it.
So moved by the Magistrate of District 2. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by the Magistrate of District 3. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion passes. Portion of that road is now considered closed and removed from county maintenance. Second one is the entirety of William Capps Road. Magistrate District 3, this is in your district. Do you have any comments to share?
I don't have no objections to that, other than, I know we've done a lot of, the rock, concrete wall and the stuff up there. I would suggest that we, let them know that we'll maybe remove that and take that out. Could that be used somewhere else?
It probably could. We still have extra of those blocks that we could use other places. I don't know if that would affect their interest in removing it from the county road system. Might be
I was thinking that was several $1,000s went into that right there.
And since we're not maintaining it
Right.
any longer, what we could do there, instead of going in to remove it, and then it could maybe wash out tomorrow, what we could do is say, if and when it washes out in the future, we're not going back to reset them to maintain the road, and if those rocks wash out in the creek, they're ours. We collect them. Does that make sense? We don't have to do that, but we could do that. That's a good observation there. Other thoughts or questions on that?
Well, you couldn't go get them because you wouldn't be.
We wouldn't be allowed to.
If they wash out in the creek.
Wash down.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's, that bridge, I think it's what, Paul Willis Bridge, is that the name of that bridge there?
But that will be their responsibility if it did wash out.
Yes, they have to maintain it then. If we vote tonight to close it, anything that happens to that now existing county road is on private property, and they would have to maintain it. Yeah, good question. Other thoughts or questions? And if there's a little bit of question there, we do not have to vote tonight to take it off. We can vote to table it. It can come up in December. We can have a conversation with the property owners and see if they're agreeable, if and when they wash out, or even picking them up now. But I do think, out of respect to them, we don't need to take it off without telling them if we are going to take them out.
Yeah. I move we put it off till December.
Table it? Okay.
Yeah.
Motion and properly moved to table this road until December. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by the Magistrate of District 1. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion passes. That's already been advertised and already had a second reading, so again, it'll just come up at the next meeting. We do not have to re-advertise.
My thoughts was,
Yes,
that, like I said, that was several $1,000s, wasn't it?
It is.
And we don't need to wait when we could actually put that somewhere else, correct, Ricky?
Yes, that's.
That could be used at another location.
And we also have that final inspection.
From FEMA. Okay,
So we need to just address that.
okay. That'll be good between now and December then. We'll do that. Okay, moving on to letter K, court consideration of public donation in memory of Miss Ann Beal. I have, and you all have in front of you, a proposed resolution, Resolution 2023-008, dated November 13th, 2023. I will read it for the benefit of those joining us today and those listening online later. November 13th, 2023, whereas Miss Ann Beal was a citizen of and generous volunteer in Cumberland County, and whereas Ann was invested in her community and the people in it, volunteering regularly at the Feed My Sheep food pantry and other countywide causes, and whereas Ann loved all animals, but especially enjoyed being on Del Hollow with her dogs and her loving husband of 54 years. And whereas Ann passed away at the age of 74 on September 6, 2023, leaving behind a legacy of generosity and kindness. And now, therefore, be it resolved by the Fiscal Court, County of Cumberland, Commonwealth of Kentucky, the Fiscal Court does hereby accept a $500 donation from Mr. Larry Beal in memory of Miss Ann Beal and her contributions to Cumberland County during their more than 20 years of time here. The Fiscal Court expresses its sincere appreciation for not only the donation, but also for Larry and Ann's commitment to our community over the last 2 decades. It is with great appreciation that the Cumberland County Fiscal Court issues this resolution of gratitude. If, as a court, we are willing to accept the $500 donation, we need a motion and a second and then a prevailing vote for this resolution. I would ask Larry if you would please stand and let the court see who you are. We appreciate your generosity in memory of Ann. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution that we have presented?
Motion.
So moved by the Magistrate of District 1. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by the Magistrate of District 4. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion passes. Thank you, gentlemen, and again, Larry, thank you very much. This time, we'll move to letter L, Tri-County Animal Shelter Response. We've received a letter from the Clinton County Fiscal Court with respect to our Tri-County Animal Shelter asking us to provide certain things in order to be a 50-50 partner with that. We've discussed this at several prior meetings. The county attorney has been gracious enough to draft a letter. I would like your all's approval before he sends that over to the county attorney in Clinton County. The only 2 changes that we are taking issue with, the first is in the initial draft that they sent to us, it was proposed that either party could get out of the agreement as long as they provide 30 days written notice. The heartburn I've got with that is we could very easily be back in the same situation. If one of us gets mad at the other and gives 30 days notice, here we are again. So I think it needs to be mutually agreed upon that if we want to sever the contract or amend it, we do, but it takes both of us to do it. That's one of the changes. Questions on that? The other change, they had indicated in there that we need to provide 2 full-time employees, and they will provide 2 full-time employees at the shelter. I can't in good conscience ask taxpayers to pay for 2 full-time employees from here working over there, 2 from there working over there, if we can get the job done with 3 full-time employees, which is what we've got right now. Not 3 full-time Cumberland County employees, but 3 full-time shelter employees. I would be much more open to taking the 3 full-time employees and sharing that expense, half with us, half with them, than I would hiring another one just for sake of us having 2, them having 2. Any objections to that prior to sending it over? Okay, just to have it on the record, I'll entertain a motion at this time for the letter to be sent by the county attorney to the county attorney of Clinton County.
So moved.
So moved by the Magistrate of District 2. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by the Magistrate of District 3. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion passes. Letter M under new business, potential liquidation of up to 5 recycling trailers. We have over at the annex right now, that's the former recycling center, and all of you are aware, and for those in the public that are here, we are not running a recycling center any longer. That building is now known as the Cumberland County Annex. We are definitely still using the building for taxpayer use, but not for recycling. We have 5, what I've been told are called cardboard trailers over there. They have metal mesh sides all around. There's 3, I believe, that are a bit taller than the other 2, but all 5 of them have metal mesh siding on them. The Russell County Fiscal Court would like to purchase them from us for their recycling center over there. I have told them that we have a meeting tonight. They also have a meeting tonight. Their meeting is in about 35 minutes, so when we finish here, I'll be calling them to tell them if we have a number, here's the number. If we don't, I'll tell them that too. What we need to consider tonight is if there is a number at which you'd like to liquidate those trailers if the Russell County Fiscal Court wishes to buy them. Mr. County Attorney, before we get into this discussion, you tell me if we are within our rights based on the admin code. It looks like that in one of the subsections here, it says that we can dispose of county equipment if it is transferred with or without compensation to another governmental agency. Is that correct?
Yes, the Cumberland County's administrative code, pertinent section is pulled directly from the model procurement code. And so that's one of the specific exceptions to it. So I don't see any issue with it. Both parties agree.
And even though the Russell County Fiscal Court is not a governmental agency of the Cumberland County Fiscal Court, it is nonetheless a governmental agency. And just for any heartburn that may exist there, also in the admin code, in a later subsection, it says assets or property valued at less than $5,000 may be disposed of without advertisement for bid. So we don't have to take it to an auction if it's less than $5,000. And again, Mr. County Attorney, correct me if I'm wrong here, $5,000 is per trailer in this situation, correct? Okay. What's the opinion of the court as far as the value of each of those trailers? Are you open to selling them right now? They are not being used. There's some junk in 2 of them right now. Weeds have grown up around the other 3. Tires are likely bad on all, but definitely at least 3 of them. I can't say that we've used them since we've been here. And of course, that's not been an eternity, but since we've been here, we've not had a huge use for those trailers. So if we can give the taxpayers back a little on this by getting some money from those and put that money then in turn to use in another budget line item, I think that might be well received. But it is up to the court. What are your all's thoughts?
How long's it been since they've been used? Do you know?
4 years.
About 4 years?
Thereabout. It's been a while since we've been recycling, I'll say that. Now, that's not to say that we haven't maybe, and I can't speak to this, but not to say that we haven't used those trailers for scrap or something in the meantime to haul things in, keep them from blowing out. But it's difficult for me to imagine if we could, and I'm not saying this is the number we go with, but if we get $2,000 out of each trailer, it's hard for me to imagine that they're worth it to us just sitting there otherwise. But Russell County may not give $2,000 either.
What did we pay for them? Do you know what we paid for them?
I do not recall. I know that we bought them with a portion of grant funds. That came from when we were doing the recycling program. Division of Waste Management gives you many times an 80-20 grant to purchase those, and we can sell those now. We can dispose of those. It has been plenty of time since we got the grant. That's a very good question.
What size trailer are they, do you know?
Are they 16 feet, Ricky?
That's not one.
Are they just 12?
14, 12.
Maybe 12 or 14.
They're just too small for what we do, the axles are too light. They're just single axle.
Single axle, all 5 single axle.
None of them's a flat bed, they've got sides on them, so, they don't really work for anything we use. We haul a little lumber in it when we was doing the bridges and stuff like that, some junk, scrap pieces of steel that we picked up, just threw in there. But, put them on something else.
And again, for those watching online that can't hear that, Road Supervisor Ricky Melton said that we don't really have a use for them because they are so small. That really limits us in that regard. Gentlemen, any price come to mind there? I suppose let's back up. Are you open to selling them at some price? Are you open to liquidating them?
Yes.
Okay,
We're not using them, we need to.
okay, so we've
Get rid
got
of
that kind
before
of
they weather any more
consensus.
than what they already have.
What if we just done sealed bids on them? They'll bid on them, I figure, won't they?
Okay, that's a good question. His question was, what if we just do sealed bids? We could do that. Here's my only concern with that. The Russell County Fiscal Court is needing them soon. And we're talking like, if they were to vote on it tonight and take them, I expect they'll be here tomorrow. Because they've got two, what I understood when they came over here, they just came by one day. When they came over here, they indicated that they had two factories that they have just taken on as recycling customers. And as a result, they're in need of them now. So I don't know that they would still, and I'm not saying they wouldn't still be interested later, but we would need to advertise if we're going to put them out for sealed bids, and that wouldn't necessarily be a year-long process or anything, but we are looking at probably a month to take that in. But we can do that. That is one of the disposition methods. We could do that.
Well, a bird in the hand's worth two in the bush, they say and go, so if you can figure out a fair price for them, then we might be better off to, while we've got somebody interested, sell them and recoup some money for something else than we would to fool around, and then when you do the sealed bids, you never know what you're gonna get bid, you know, so you might be able to get more out of them this way.
Let me ask you this, Magistrate District 2 and 4, what if we had a number that was agreed upon tonight that we share with the Russell County Fiscal Court, and if they say no, we can wrap into our motion tonight that we just decide then automatically put them up for sealed bids if Russell County doesn't want them? Because it sounds like we've decided we don't need them and might as well recoup some of that cost. Is that fair to say?
Sounds good.
Okay. I could do that too. I'm very comfortable with that. We just need now then a number to share with Russell County tonight to let them deliberate on. I will tell you my very superficial review of them, because there's not a lot of them out there just listed everywhere, but on auction sites and then admittedly some on Facebook Marketplace. There was a couple on there. The cheapest I saw any of them was about $1,800. And I'll agree, those tires were probably in better shape than what ours are, but about $1,800 was the minimum. Then they went up $2,400, $2,600, that range.
Most of these other chargers just got like a wooden floor or a solid floor, and these just got that little thin mesh or so you can't put anything heavy in there. It just
Break it down.
Pretty light.
Okay,
Everybody think $2,000 would be a fair price?
I'm good with that.
2,000. Okay, is there a motion to that effect?
You can work with it.
So moved by the Magistrate of District 1 for $2,000 if Russell County Fiscal Court wishes to purchase them. Seconded by
Second.
Magistrate of District 3. All those in
That's a
favor?
piece, right?
A piece, yeah. That's a very good guess. Yeah, otherwise, Jeff says he's in otherwise. Yes, a piece, $2,000.
Is that one?
That would be each. So if they, or, oh, you're saying if they decide to buy all of them, is it less? Or if they decide to buy just one, can they still have it?
Yeah, which you gonna sell them all over?
They wanted all of them. They said they wanted all of them, but
I didn't know if that was.
yeah, we can make it.
Try to package it, that way we don't get stuck with something.
Your motion is $2,000 each if they buy all 5.
Yeah.
Okay, and is that your second to that motion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed, no. Motion passes. And then at this time, I'll entertain a motion if the Russell County Fiscal Court decides not to take them at $2,000 per trailer for all 5, that we put those 5 trailers up for sealed bid auction. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved.
So moved by the Magistrate of District 3. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by the Magistrate of District 2. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed, no. Motion passes. And again, just to reiterate, those are not being used in any way and haven't been. That's why we're doing it. Quickly get running through these last items. These are just notices. Letter N, notice of Civics Club and high school youth meetings. This is something that admittedly I'm pretty excited about. It's something that's coming to Cumberland County High School, brought to you by members of your Cumberland County Fiscal Court. We will be going, hopefully, as early as this month. Magistrate of District 3 and myself went to the College and Career Day, talked with students about the Civics Club. This will give us, as members of the court, an opportunity to go to the high school, meet with the youth about what they think is important for Cumberland County. We hear a lot from their parents, grandparents, aunts, and uncles, but we'll get it straight from the source here. I would like for all of us to be there, so in advance, I'll tell you I will be calling a special called meeting since we'll have a quorum of members there at these meetings with the students. Those meetings will not be televised because we've got youth there, get into consent, that kind of thing. If folks would like, and we would encourage the press, if they would like to come, I think that'd be a good opportunity for the students as well. But those will be special called meetings. I'll notify you and the members of the media in advance of those. Questions on that? Next, letter O, notice of Maribone and Burkesville parades. First is Maribone, November the 25th at 11 a.m. Second, Burkesville, December the 9th, 5 p.m. What I would like, we have all worked shoulder to shoulder in the trenches here since January 1. I would like for all of us, if your schedules permit and your health will hold out, all of us be in those parades. I have invited the county staff to also participate. We have several members of the road crew, office staff, EM staff, all that have expressed interest in being there. Can't be at both of them for every single employee, but those that can will be there as a team. We'll be walking in it. That, just so we're clear, I want this noted for the record, that will not be a special called meeting. We may very well have a quorum of fiscal court members there. We don't have to call a special called meeting for that though, because we are not discussing county business. That would be no different than if we all showed up to get groceries at the same time. So we will all be there, we'll not be discussing county business. Questions on that? Very good. Letter P under new business. Notice of next USDA commodity food distribution and report of October's bonus distribution. Can't thank Jefferson and the road crew and our volunteers enough for that. Almost $7,000 of food was given away in addition to the regular monthly distribution. I appreciate all of you, especially Magistrate District 2, for being there, helping hand out. Got quite a bit of produce on you that day before you left, but appreciate all the work that you did there. Over 400 people benefited. We did not throw anything away unless it was damaged when it got to us. The rest of it that we didn't hand out, 2 bags or 3 bags of cabbage, I believe, and some bags of onions went to the local food pantry. So we didn't waste anything unless it was damaged when it got to us. Next distribution, November 29th. Please tell anybody that can benefit from that. Letter Q under new business, notice of the state of the county address. This is something that I'm really encouraging all county team members to be there. I can't force them to be there because we're not paying anybody to be there, but you all as members of the fiscal court and each and every one of our Cumberland County team members is responsible for the success that we've seen in these things that we've put in place since January. I would like for all of you all and them to be there to hear how this is playing out as far as looking at the numbers, knowing your numbers for the state of the county address. For those that are here that might be interested, please keep a watch on this for us. It will be in January. Looks like my time is running out there. Maybe the battery is running low if that's not plugged in. So just a little hint of what you might expect at that meeting. Overtime is one thing that I will touch on at the state of the county address. I'd like for everybody to hear to know what effect our actions have had thus far. Now, if you'll recall, members of the court, late spring, early summer is when we started really going after overtime, taking aggressive steps to change schedules and make sure that we were not paying out a lot of money in overtime. Last year, from January to December, so that's not the fiscal year, but the calendar year, January to December of last year, we paid out $35,335.12 in overtime. That was last year. As of October the 31st of this year, so in 10 months, admittedly, we've got 2 more to go, and we could have snows and storms in that time, but this year, we've paid out only $16,254.51 in overtime pay. We've cut it in half. Again, we've still got 2 months to go, but we've cut it in half. And to show you that we are trending in the right direction, thanks to all of our team and each of you for making these tough decisions, we've gone from July of 2023 84.75 hours of overtime to 29.5 hours of overtime in August, down to 16.25 hours of overtime in September, and for the month of October, we only had 9.75 hours of overtime. We're definitely trending in the right direction, and if you look at the numbers compared to the previous year, those were much higher numbers. So I commend all of you for being creative in the way that you're looking at cutting costs, the road department for being so agreeable, office staff and other county team members for helping get that cost low. Okay, that's all under new business. At this time, we need to address what Ricky had mentioned earlier on Sexton Fork. We do have, my understanding, some cost overruns on that. This project was a bid job. So a bid is a bid. What the bid was is what the bid is. But we are open to looking at those numbers. And I'll say this from my perspective, and then gentlemen, I'd like your input on this. FEMA approved on the 2 sites on Sexton Fork. There are 2 sites on Sexton Fork. One was approved for up to $88,000 and some change. The other approved up to $65,000 and some change. The bid amount for each of those was $40,000 each. So we're looking at an increase there of $73,000, $73,089.66. That is what FEMA will reimburse us. We still have to come up with the money to pay that on the front end. Now, I've made my position very clear. A bid is a bid is a bid. I am open to this if, and it sounds like Randy is the contractor who is doing this work for us, if he is willing to take out the Bruton Hollow job, amend the contract, take it out, and take out Otter Creek, both of those jobs have a combined $100-ish thousand in savings there. The reason I'm proposing we now take those out is because FEMA has since rejected those. So we're not getting any reimbursement then for those where we were originally told that we would. So if we take those out, we're protecting ourselves and the taxpayers on that 100,000 that there were 100,000 plus that there'll be no reimbursement for, and we will pay up to the extra $73,000 that FEMA will reimburse on the 2 Sexton Fork jobs. Because again, just for full transparency here, and Ricky, I'll ask if you'd like to step in on this, if you know more specifics, but Randy said that the actual cost for Sexton Fork now, whether it be because it's gotten progressively worse or data input incorrectly on the front end, instead of $40,000 and $40,000, he's now looking at an actual cost on those jobs of about $130,000 for one site and $170-something thousand for a second site. And Randy and I have had some very productive and candid conversations about my stance on a bid contract. He has been very agreeable to that and understanding of my position on that. I told him that I would bring it to the court for consideration tonight. So he has, Ricky, correct me if I'm wrong, he has agreed to do the Sexton Fork sites, site 1 and 2, up to what FEMA will pay, allowing for the $73,000-ish increase, instead of jumping one to 130 and the other to 170. Is that your understanding?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Questions from the court?
He's also agreed to take those other 2 out, so that will save a bunch of money right
Correct.
there, because we weren't gonna get any reimbursement from them. And it's my understanding that some of this might have been input data that shorted the steel for this job, so.
Correct. Not on the court's part, though.
Not on
that is
ours,
correct.
not of any fault of ours. So, I think, I would make a motion that we go ahead and do this.
Increasing the amount by $73,089.66, but removing Bruton Hollow Road, 2 sites, one for $25,630, another for $37,648, and Otter Creek Road for a total bid amount $44,089. All of those will be removed, and your motion is to increase it in exchange for removing those, correct?
Correct.
Is there a second?
I got one question.
Yes,
Where's the
sir.
Bruton Holler?
I'm sorry.
Bruton Holler, where's it? Where's it at?
Where's it at? Ricky, can you answer that?
Off Highway 90,
Okay,
before you get to.
Otter Creek.
49.
Before you get to Otter Creek? Okay,
all right.
good
go ahead.
question. Other questions? Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Seconded by the magistrate of District 1. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed, no. Motion passes. Any member know of any new business which should properly come before this meeting at this time? Hearing none, I'll now entertain a motion to adjourn until our next regularly scheduled meeting, December 11th, 2023, 4 p.m. Central Time, Cumberland County Courthouse. Do keep in mind, especially members of the media, if we have that special called meeting at the school, you'll get noticed. But until then, regularly scheduled meeting, December 11th. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Hey, Judge.
Yes, sir.
I'd just like to mention to the people that live on those roads, that people know that, you know, it's not the courts. It was FEMA's hands that was on it, and it is up for appeal, and it could come back later, and we couldn't get it. It's not that we, anything short of anybody that lives on the roads.
That's a very good catch, Ricky. Thank you. And again, for those at home, the court did not remove those 2 railing cribbing sites. That was a FEMA decision. They didn't call me or any member of the court and say, what do you think about this? They just said it's rejected. So that was a FEMA decision, not a court
After we
decision.
was told we was
Correct.
gonna get it.
Our FEMA consultant told us that
Pretty large
every,
chunk of money.
our FEMA consultant told us that every item presented had been approved, and then FEMA came back and said those 2 are now rejected. Thank you for that, Ricky.
Trying to appeal it, so.
In appeals right now.
Comes out.
Right. Very good. Good point there. I appreciate it, Ricky. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
So moved by the magistrate of District 1. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by the magistrate of District 3. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, no. Motion passes. Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.